Hello. Welcome to the CoverageBook 2 webinar. We're just waiting for some more people to come in, but we can see there's quite a few of you have joined us already. We'll just let some more come in, but you'll see some faces here, maybe some friendly faces if you've ever gone into our intercom in CoverageBook. You may see Smiley David there in the corner. Give us a wave, David.
Hi everyone.
You may also recognise Gary, our founder.
Hello.
Where's your face normally, Gary? Normally, if you're on Twitter, you'll definitely recognise Gary's face. He is real. And we're also joined by Hannah as well. I'm not sure if you would have seen Hannah's face. Definitely, if you've been on Answer the Public webinars, you'll know Hannah as well. So we'll do proper intros soon. Thank you so much for coming to find out more about CoverageBook 2. We're obviously very excited to tell you more. And this webinar is all about us just giving you an introduction, really. So far, you would have seen at least 1-2 emails from Gary now, just telling you that it is coming and letting you know to join us today to hear more. You may have seen some people talking about it on Twitter as well. But yeah, this is for all of our lovely customers and users of CoverageBook. We're going to run through some of the new features, how it looks a little bit different, but most importantly, how your reports are going to look, how you can make them, how we've solved some of the problems that you've told us about over the years. We're calling that big niggles, which we quite like.
There's one or two, I think.
There has been a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everyone, the numbers are still going up. It's lovely to have everybody joining us, but we are going to get started now so we can actually get through it. As I mentioned on the call today, we've got David, who is our head of customer support, Hannah, who works with me on, we do a lot of different things, but you'll definitely see us in more of the education side through resolution, when we talk about PR measurement, and we also do some marketing as well. And obviously Gary, who is our founder. We're also going to show you some more members of our team, actually, because we're not sure we've ever told you who works on CoverageBook before. So we're going to go through that. As I mentioned, we're going to go through some of the many issues that there was with the original product and how we've made that better and hopefully sparkled a little bit of magic over the new product as well, which is hopefully going to make your lives easier and also just really help you with PR measurements. So I'm going to go into some of the details there, some new metrics, which are really cool, and how best to use them and talk to your clients and stakeholders about those. And then more important, we're going to cover how this is actually going to work, when you're going to get access, how we're going to tell you, and all of the nuts and bolts. And anything we don't cover, please put all of your questions into the chat. We're going to answer as many as possible. David is also going to go straight into the tool and have a little walk around as well, so you can have a look before you get your upgrades and your entry. Yes, this is the team of CoverageBook. But just before I go through everybody and what they all do, I think it's time to actually just show you some of the tool. Okay, so I'm going to play a very short video, and it's a real snapshot of CoverageBook 2. Okay, anyone with some eagle eyes in there will notice that there are a few new things going on. Actually, so, Hannah, would you mind just going back to the slides for us just while I carry on?
Yeah,
great.
sure.
Thank you. Yeah, so you would have seen there a bit of a snapshot of how the reports will look. There's so much more there. I think we've counted almost 50 new additions that we've made to the CoverageBook tool. But yeah, anyone with eagle eyes would have seen there's some new metrics, some new layouts, and we're going to go into that in a little bit more detail. But this is the team behind the new upgrades, and it's actually been quite a long time in the making. We're going to cover off some of that, and I don't know if this might surprise some of you, but this is our team. There are 10 of us. There's not rooms and rooms of multiple sales teams or anything. This is us, and we are based in the southeast of England, a place called Brighton. And we've got, should I go through everybody? Should we introduce the team, Gary?
I don't know. It's up to you. Yeah, Hannah, Andy. Yeah, no one's going to remember anyway.
No, okay, that's us anyway. We have been really excited to, especially the guys who have been busy developing it in the background, are really super excited that you're all seeing it now. But yeah, why CoverageBook 2? Some of you might be asking. Some of you might have been perfectly happy with the tool as it is right now. Why do we have to go and spoil it all? Or some of you might be going, yeah, about time. There's things that haven't been working. I guess I'll just cover off my opinion of why we needed CoverageBook 2 is because PR has changed. I think CoverageBook, Gary, going for the date, when did we launch?
Prototype. Yeah, the original prototype was 2013. So
yeah,
some time ago now.
Some time ago. So yeah, anyone who has been with us for a while will know that we have made updates to the tool in that time, but PR has changed a lot. You're getting coverage on all sorts of different types of media now. It's not just about media relations. It's about social. There's so many more metrics. PR measurement has developed, yes, which is great. There's different stakeholders now. We know that you have different pressures from different stakeholders who need different metrics. They're busy. They might not have time to go through many pages of a coverage book. Things have changed. So we needed to update the tool as well. But there's also some other reasons, isn't there, Dave, Gary? So before we hand over to David, do you want to explain what David's Golden Daily Digest is?
David's Golden Daily Digest. It's my favourite email, Stella. David is obviously our head of support, but maybe a few people will recognise that I still do support. So I really enjoy covering support, always have done. And we get to have loads of conversations with lots of different people. So probably thousands of teams from around the world now since we launched in 2014. David's Golden Daily Digest is our way of just checking in with each other, where we basically pick highlights of the things that have been annoying people that day, and then just collate, and we're just collating stuff. And so we've got 7 years of that stuff.
We talk about it
every day. Yeah.
When you guys come through on support, and don't worry, sometimes it's anonymous, so we won't be like, oh, that person, but we really do care, and all of us have got different roles and also different experiences as well. But a lot of the team have been in your shoes of making coverage reports. Both Hannah and I worked at PR agencies. Gary works at an agency as well. We know those pressures. And when we see people on a Friday evening with issues with their reports, I feel that pain. So yeah, we all, and then the same, the developers, if they've made something in the app and they've seen some of the pain, it does get us. So yeah, we do care. We read them.
I guess the crux of two was, I guess it depends on how long you've been a customer with CoverageBook, but you've probably noticed that new things and updates have certainly slowed down in the last 12 months. I guess we got to a point back in 2018 where we could see that coming. We had a ton of ideas, and working with CTO Andy, who I think is watching, basically came to the conclusion that, you know what, the best place to start with this to solve a lot of these problems would be to start again behind the scenes. We'd spent years doing incremental changes for the first 2 or 3 years, and then we had just hearing a lot of the problems that you have in your day-to-day with our product, and problems that we'd introduced into your workflow, which was never the intention. But then also just thinking about the future of PR measurement, and thinking like you were saying in the introduction, a lot has changed in the last 5 years. So we've got our eye on that, and our eye on the future, and we're really got big ambitions for the product and for you guys to be able to showcase the work that you're doing, but continue to keep the ethos of the product. So keeping it simple to use, accessible to the teams, but then really beginning to nudge things along in terms of PR's credibility. So we're really we're majorly behind the PR industry, and yeah, really excited about what's coming next. So yeah, CoverageBook 2 is, to me, this is day one. When you get to the new product, I'm hoping you're going to see a lot of things fixed and changed, and you're going to be really happy about that. But I think I just want to take this opportunity to say we are almost back open for like new updates in a way. I know you haven't seen that. But we've built this platform to be in a position to add incremental improvements on a much more like frequent basis. We're really excited about the things that are coming. Please tell us, like, when you get access to the new product and you feel like we've missed something, like, we are listening. And I think with 2, we're in a position to do something about it. Whereas with 1, it felt like, yeah, the product had reached the end of its life. We couldn't really bend it in any new direction. So that's why we've started with 2 as well.
So we're going to show you some of the new exciting stuff. As Gary says, we are nudging in the right direction of where we believe PR measurement should be going, and what you do see a little bit of today. And when you log in, we are on a journey with this. So there definitely will be new additions, as Gary said. But before we get to that shiny new stuff, let's just bring in David now. We're just going to touch on some of those niggles that people had, aren't we, David? And have a little look at the big niggles.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, we feel this pain probably as acutely as you guys. So like when these requests come in, we're like, we know, and we really want to do something about this, and something's coming. The thing that we've really tried to avoid in the last 12 months, and David has been I just want to say, David has been an absolute saint in not over-promising and just saying, yeah, oh, don't worry, this problem's going to be solved. We wanted to absolutely wait until we had the solution ready for you. So yeah, I think you've just picked off 3 or 4, but there could have been 30 of these, David.
Yeah, just so many. In fact, this was a really hard webinar to plan for, because I just wanted to include so much of the good stuff and all the things that we've updated and changed. And yeah, we're going to solve a lot of things for a lot of people, hopefully. So yeah, really excited about it.
Cool. So you're going to dive into the new tool now, aren't you? So the first one we're going to cover off is grouped problem that a lot of people had, and we totally get it. You've had the success of an amazing campaign. You're dropping all of your coverage in. You want to share that book with stakeholders and organize it. And we know big books are a bit of a nightmare. So how have we solved that, David? Can you show us?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just share my screen. Okay. So hopefully that's now live. Everybody can see that. Yes, divider pages and the order and sort page, which were your main kind of go-to areas when you were organizing your books before. And yes, it was a bit of a pain to drag things around manually. Multi-drag and drop was always an interesting proposition, particularly with a laptop trackpad. They're gone forever, and we've got something way better. What you're looking at now is the book overview page of our new format. This is a book that one of our customers kindly allowed us to use some of their coverage for examples and so on. So that's great. When you upload coverage, it's still exactly the same. So up in the top left-hand corner, you'll click on either add online in social or add offline. You can still upload all of your online links like you could do before. We'll still collect all of the screenshots and metrics, save you a bunch of time. But it's got even better, because you can now start to organize your reports right from the very beginning. What you can actually do is, thinking about a traditional divider slide, you can now actually just create a new section directly to drop your coverage into as you're uploading it. It should save a huge bunch of time and make things so much better. I won't show you how to upload coverage, because obviously you're all familiar with that. But here I've already created 4 sections for online, social media, print and broadcast. So as I say, it's dead easy to upload directly to those. You don't have to as well. If you're happy just to create books with everything just pasted in straight away to save time, that's also totally cool. No problem at all. And here is how the sections look in the book overview page. So it's just really nice. All of the clips are embedded within each of these sections. And if you wanted to move a whole section of clips around to change them in the report, it's just super easy just to drag and drop those around. It's really nice. And you can also use the up and down arrows to navigate those. So that side of things is just going to be a whole lot better when you're trying to move bunches of clippings around. And if we dive into the online coverage section itself, you've still got the automated sorting options that you had before. So you can sort by date added, by metrics, highest to lowest, and so on. But what the really good thing here is, what you couldn't do in the original version of CoverageBook was actually individually sort your clippings automatically between your divider pages, but you can do now. So that's also going to be great. So you can sort each batch of clips by date, order, without having to manually reorder them. So that's great. So just in a question in the chat about how to create a section. It's super easy. All you do is just click on Add Online and Social, put in a clip, anyone you like. It's just, I think of one now. bbc.co.uk, for example. Just hit on create a section, and then you can just create a new section, click add section, and that's it. It's done. It's super quick and easy to do that, but I won't add this one. There's also a bunch of other things that you can do. So with each individual clipping, you can still fine tune by dragging and dropping those around. It's a lot nicer experience than before. But the best thing about it is that you can now multi-select as well. So you can just pick a bunch of clips from this list, and then you've got an option to move them to the start or the end of the section. You can add them to a completely new section, or you can move them to an existing one. So it's really easy to quickly sort all of your coverage within your account. And finally, you can multi-delete as well. Yeah, if you did need to get rid of a bunch of clips, it's also really easy just to click on the multi-delete button, and they're gone, which is fab.
Oh, I hope that happy day from Andrew McKay is about the multi-delete, because we feel
it's funny,
Andrew.
When you're building,
yay for multi-delete.
When you're building out the marketing material for this stuff, you want to focus on social metrics and everything else. I'm like, I think multi-delete and the check boxes is probably going to be the favorite feature.
Yeah. I must admit, I was like, yay, when it arrived. Yeah, that's just the coverage. And I know that we're called CoverageBook. We've thought a lot more about how you can just add so much more context to your reports. And so you'll also see at the beginning of each of the sections, you've got this kind of custom slides area. So you can add whatever you want. I've got a nice high-res image of a cat high-fiving somebody, but it could be a nice campaign image. It could be some slides about campaign activity, a bulleted list, whatever you wanted to include. You can add as many custom images as you like, and you don't need to add any coverage. So you could just create a nice report without adding coverage. So that's really nice as well. Yeah, so that's kind of my top thing, really, just how nice and easy it is now to navigate. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Okay, let's go on to our second big niggle. If we could stay in the app. Oh, okay.
Oh, stay in the app. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. You stay in there. No worries. So yeah, the second one was. Oops, good. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I was going back into the slides. Sorry, David.
That's all right. Oh.
Okay, so the second one was options with metrics. So you had loads of questions just around people needing to add more than we had available. Is that right?
Yeah, that's kind of my second major thing, really, is that just how flexible it is now with all of the data. A lot of the queries that we used to get on. Oh, somebody's saying, can you see the screen now?
Yeah, we can see it. Keep going.
Yeah, one of the major questions that we had, and I completely understand it really, was we had this disparity between the different coverage types where, because we included automated metrics for online coverage, you couldn't change those. You couldn't add extra metrics to online. You could only add metrics to offline, and it could only be 3 metrics at a time. And I know that we've had lots of chats with customers in the past about that. One of the big things that will be fixed actually is that one of the reasons people wanted to add metrics to online clippings was that we weren't collecting metrics for social media posts, whereas we are now. So that's really cool. So if I just quickly dive into this Instagram post for Zesty Paws, we're now pulling through audiences, engagements, and views as well for those. So you won't need to necessarily add your custom metrics, follow accounts and stuff to those, because we're doing it already for you. But you can now add unlimited metrics to all coverage types, whether that's online or offline. There's no limit. You can just go for it. So for example, in this clip from yahoo.com, I've just really quickly added a quality score, an internal quality score that some of you may use to rank your coverage. It's super quick and easy to do. Oh yeah, something else that's really great. Just click next. Oh, Now I can just go to this add custom metric and I can quickly just add another quality score, save that, and so on and so forth. It works in exactly the same way as the previous metric. So every time you add a custom metric, we'll total those up through the report and we'll collect all of that data together in the metric summary at the end.
There is a bit more detail. We can go into more detail at another point. We're definitely going to do follow-ups there, but there's definitely some levels of more advanced stuff you can do in there. So even with custom metrics, with quality score, for example, if for our internal quality score, we'd want an average metric summed up rather than a total, just count. So you're able to do things like that, where you can either have a sum of all your metrics or the average. But I will certainly cover that in blog posts, and we can follow up in webinars.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth doing another follow-up just on metrics, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's just so much to talk about here, really. In addition to, obviously, the unlimited metrics for both online and offline, which is great, it's now also possible to search for backlinks, not just to one domain, but you can actually do it up to 5 per book as well, which is really cool as well. So just keep adding in all of your domains up to 5. We'll collect all of those links back to your clients' websites as well. So that's a big upgrade from before, and one of the things that we got asked about quite a lot.
Yeah, we know that anyone who knows us guys behind the scenes know that our background is like SEO, PR and digital PR agencies. So we know if you work in that space, how important it is to show where you're getting your links to and how to count those up. So it's a big one for anyone who works in that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. We're seeing quite a few. Do add your questions. We're going to get through as many as possible at the end, and any that we don't, we're going to group and just take that as a lead for our follow-up webinars. So do keep adding them, and we'll do that. Cool. Anything? I'm going to be go into a bit of a deeper dive on our estimated views later. But is there anything else more you wanted to cover off, David, in metrics?
Yeah, so just really to also mention that in the metric summary page itself, this is now completely unlimited. You can add as many as you like. One of the other questions that we always got asked was, actually, I want to reorder the metrics as well. If sort of Instagram audiences and Facebook audiences are 2 of your top metrics, it's really quick and easy just to drag and drop those into place. So you can totally customize the metric summary and it looks great as well. Yeah. And you've got just a huge bunch of different metrics that you can turn on or off. So you can hide or show as much or as little as you want, which is also really cool. So yeah, that's it. Just how flexible and easy it is to add your own data and showcase it exactly as you want.
Brilliant. Seeing so many questions. I've seen Ardy there. Hello, Ardy. I know Ardy from New York.
It's so nice to see. I know I've seen a few comments from people saying it's nice to put names faces, and I can see some people's names. And likewise, yeah, thank you.
But yeah, we'll definitely do a follow-up on metrics. As I mentioned, I'm going to be coming on to a bit of a deeper dive on estimated views. But yeah, we can go into the how-tos and all of the options on another one. And we can also go into, just more info around how it fits in with overall PR measurement as well. Let's move on to the next one. Isn't quite a niggle as such, but I was keen that David included this one because I know that how much he does talk to everybody through support and how much he listens to people's and problems as he does with us as well. But this is on a serious note though, we know, and again, like from our own experience of working in PR, there's always a little concern sometimes with you go to all of the effort of building your report and then you hit send an email or share it in Slack and then you hope that it gets opened and every page gets read. We all know that there's always a slight concern as whether it has how it gets shared and whether people have time. From those concerns we really did go into a lot of research around report readers. So we do go beyond with our research and we actually did quite a lot of testing with report readers as well. So different types of clients in different roles with different amounts of time constraints. Some people we found out that some people loved looking at data. Some people really just wanted to look at the visuals because they were going to forward on the coverage report to a sales team, for example. We found out so much, was really interesting. So we just took all of that into the new layouts. And so, sorry, David, I'm taking that a bit, but I know that from that research, I was really interested in it because you get to see all of the different ways that actually great for PR that it does get that forward button does happen. And do you want to just cover off some of that, how we put it into the tool, some of the learnings from that?
Yeah, absolutely. The final thing really is actually getting the reports out into the hands of people that are going to read them. And I think both the online and PDF had a huge boost in quality, and they look really good now. So this is the book that I've made. Obviously, at any point you can check that everything's ready to go. And then up in the top right hand corner, you've got the preview book button. I've actually gone ahead and got a new tab with that open already. It just looks really nice. It's super high res, nice and colourful. Metric summary looks great. And
Is that a contents page, David?
Well, yes, it is. Ta-da! So for the first time, we're including this really nice navigation. You can choose to toggle on or off a PDF, so you can either include those for your clients or not. But yeah, you can dive straight into any of the sections in your report. And the other thing that you can do as well is that you can actually share the URL of each section, and it will link directly to that section of the report. So it's super quick and easy to share just the social coverage or just the online coverage with your teams. Yeah, it just looks really nice. I mean, high-res images look great. Now, because I'd added kind of 70 clippings to the online coverage section, I've actually decided to show that as a grid view as well. One of the things that we were really conscious with is that a lot of larger reports, especially all being shown as full page, they could get super, super long. So what we've included is in each of the sections, you can actually choose to show the coverage as a full page or a grid view or even a list view if you wanted to just list out all of the clippings. The clients can still click on those to view the article's full size, but it just keeps it nice and small and visually impactful, which is really lovely.
We just know that those stakeholders are changing as well. Like sometimes you don't need to send the whole report to the CEO or the whole report to the sales team, whatever. So yeah, it's a good one.
It's worth adding those, because I've done this just internally. If each of those section links is a unique link, so you can just drop that link into Slack or into Basecamp and it will take you directly to that section rather than having to navigate the whole book. The contents menu is there when it's just easier just to share the specific link sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can even go one step further as well. One of the things that customers would often ask as well is, if I've got this kind of syndicated regional release where I've got 200 articles that are practically all the same, I want to include all of the metrics and all of the work that we've done, but I don't necessarily want to show 200 of the same article to our clients. Can we do that? And before it was a case of no, but now you can. What's also really good about having sections in this way is that you can actually choose to just hide them if you want. I could potentially just include all of my coverage, hide all of the individual pieces, but just create highlights only, but with the metrics as well. So now when you preview the report, you'll get your front cover, you'll get the nice metric summary that you've curated, and then you'll just dive straight into the highlights only. And highlights are now unlimited. They used to be 8, but now they're completely unlimited. So if you did want to just add as many highlights as you want and show this kind of really snappy, visually impactful report, then it's absolutely fine. You can do that now, which is also a really nice addition, I think. And obviously that the reader can just click through and view all of those posts as they come up. So it's a really nice way of keeping your reports short and punchy as well, which is a good addition.
Brilliant. Thank you. We are going to cover as many questions as possible at the end. Just one I want to quickly answer. Somebody said, is the pricing going to change? No, it's not. Just want to answer that one quickly.
Yeah. No, and just another thank you to everyone that's supported us. Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be no pricing change.
Thanks for being patient.
Yeah, thank you for being so patient with us. We're not private equity backed. We're not VC backed. We've been going quite a while now, but we were definitely keen in investing all of the money that you guys share with us in return for the service, and we're piling it back into making a better product. Yeah, thank you for being patient for this second version.
Cool. Right. I'm just going through all of your questions. We're going to group them, and it was definitely going to lead into our next webinar. So thank you. Thank you, David. We all good on that. I'm going to move back to slides.
Okay.
Hannah, would you mind bringing them back?
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you. Ever so technical on this team. I am. So I'm just going to talk about some of the metrics. So David just quickly went through some of the metrics that we've got in here. So you would be used to our metric, which is estimated views. So that is when we predict how many people will see your piece of coverage. And that was always been in CoverageBook since launch. Just as a sort of a recap, I don't know if we've ever really covered that. The reason we have that is because we always want to be realistic in our reporting. Historically, in coverage reports that we may have used to worked on, or some of us used to work on, it would just be publisher monthly traffic figures. And really, if we're being honest, that doesn't give anybody reading a report a great deal of information. Just knowing how many people go to a publisher every month doesn't tell us anything about the coverage. So we wanted 7 years ago when we did launch to try and bring some extra insight, I suppose, and trying to work on that formula. And we did get some great feedback on that formula over the years when people have had access, when they've had some good contacts at a publisher and have managed to get. I know that somebody, actually, I probably can't say who it was, but yeah, we did get some good feedback and some insights that those figures were pretty spot on as well when people looked at analytics. So we've always been proud of it. But in this upgrade, the formula has had a lot more detail put into it. The guys have worked so hard on that. See Gary nodding. It's got a lot more information. Yeah. It's now looking at how the coverage has been shared socially as well. So it's real data going into that. So we are confident that is going to be super credible for you to be able to put in front of clients. So that's for your online articles. So already the upgrade that's just a better formula. But in addition, we have now got the same estimated views. Where we go back? For social, so which you can see on the right there. So you can add social coverage now, and you're looking at how many people may have seen that as well. Did you want to add anything to that, Gary?
No, just social is a pretty broad category, right? Just to be super clear on when you get access to the product as soon as that happens for you, and we can cover that in a bit more detail later. We currently have support for Twitter, Instagram. I'll come back to Instagram stories at another point, YouTube, Facebook, and we've got other networks on our roadmap. So we're certainly looking at Medium, which I'm not entirely sure if it's not really a social network really, but it's a LinkedIn. We've got TikTok support now. We did add that in, so that's live now. Twitch is maybe coming for the gaming, anyone that works in gaming. So we've basically got a much better pattern within our platform to be able to support new sites moving forward. So very confident that, we're going to be in a much better position there. And this was all about, quite confident on these metrics. A lot of work has gone into the predicted views for Twitter and Instagram. And I think I've got a blog post ready to go into the detail of this that I can share for anyone that's interested in that. So
we know that sometimes clients and stakeholders who are really sort of data led do want to know how that's put together. So we can share more details on that. I saw that there was a question come through.
Yeah, I can see LinkedIn in the top corner. So not yet is the answer, but it's certainly there's a wave of work, and LinkedIn and Medium are certainly two platforms that we're going to look to support next when we get to that. So but please get in touch and just say we absolutely need it now, and that helps.
It definitely helps push when you do tell us these things. I saw that there was a question around, are we going to consider adding media values? So if you're referring to equivalent advertising value, no, we won't be adding that metric in. Having said that, we do know, as I mentioned, we have been in the position where we know that clients and stakeholders, marketing heads, need a value. They need ROI on work sometimes. We totally get that. So although we will never add equivalent advertising value because we are members of AMEC, so anyone who isn't aware of AMEC, it is the Association of Measurement and Evaluation for Communications. Do sign up and check them out. They're an industry body, but they do a lot of work around why that shouldn't be a metric in public relations, and we do agree with it because it's just looking at advertising. It's not really showing the value of PR. So where I'm going with this is that through estimated views, we do know that it's actually being used in further evaluation. So within your CoverageBook reports, you will see estimated views for your articles and for your social posts. Now, there are ways, and I'll do a blog post about this, but there are ways of beyond this report, you can then start to look at estimated views as a proxy for impressions. Now, when you start to talk to marketing heads and budget holders, what they're trying to do often is compare the work of PR to other areas of marketing, right? So when they're trying to allocate budget, they're trying to look at the success of the different lines of marketing, and they need to compare apples to apples, really, when it comes down to it. And so using estimated views is really similar to looking at impressions, which is a really common metric in advertising and also in owned as well. So we've got a quote here from James Alexander, who's at Diageo, which is a huge global drinks business, and he uses it in a way that he can allocate budget. So there's a podcast with James there, but we're going to do some more content around that to help you guys with that, because we know that there's one thing of reporting on your work, but we know that you need that extra evaluation and to get to values. In fact, if you want to know more about that right now, you can head to the blog, the Resolution blog, and Gary did a really great blog post recently about how to do that and how to get to an actual dollar sign figure and pound sign, which I know you often need. So just wanted to get that share that with people so you can start to think about that. Again, if you want more information or a webinar on it, let us know and we will get it into planning. Something else I wanted to cover off before we got on to questions, because we are running out of time now, is looking at our coverage vault. So this is really where every single piece of coverage that you've ever added, so this is going into the past as well, so don't worry. I think I saw another question about, is all of your coverage going to go through into the new version? Yes, it will, in all of your reports. So all coverage will go into, you'll have your reports, but you'll also have this big coverage vault. Every single piece has been analysed. It has all of the new metrics and it's all there. So in the coverage vault, there's different ways that you can select that coverage, whether it's by client or whether it's by date, but it has all of these metrics in there. So there's loads. We'll probably do another session on this, but there's just some really cool ways that you can use this part of the tool to track KPIs. If you need to quickly draw insights when you've got a quick question from a stakeholder or from a manager, or if you're a manager yourself and you want to check in on team performance or client performance, you need to quickly see what your most successful piece was, where was the most social shares last year. God, we know that.
I'm like in the highlights thing. Do you remember running out to pictures and we're like, I just need a book. I just need a book of all our best coverage in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to a pitch. Yeah, this even simple things like that. That's what we've built the vault for. So you can just click on show highlights and build new books very quickly. Lots of power in this area and lots to come actually. So it will be, if you ever use what we call the insights view in the last product, in the existing products, then we've relabeled that, rebranded it, the Coverage Vault, and you're going to see a lot more from us in this area, but it already should feel a lot more powerful than the insights view, which showed initial promise, but failed on a few levels, didn't quite get there. But with new things like the ability to select individual clips or multi-select and do interesting things, it's going to give you a lot of, I'm hoping you're going to find it useful. But again, we are all ears. Would love to hear how you
that's what helps, isn't it? And actually, if you do get those requests on a Friday afternoon from a client or somebody, how can I do this? Or I'm a manager and I need to be able to see how the team are performing, or what is the most shared piece, or more questions like that coming through to David now that we're going to see it in David's daily digest. That really helps with us being able to explain the uses of some of these features better, but developing the features too.
Yeah.
And David's already gone through the layouts in detail here, but again, like we've created these different layouts of a list view and a more visual view, full pages, based on some of the research from report readers and from your questions that we've had in the past. But again, just tell us more. It's really interesting to hear who's reading PR reports now, because it does seem to be really varied and growing, which is fantastic for us as an industry. But again, for us as a tool, we can develop here and we can and see different ways. So keep telling us of the different people, whether the layouts work and what else you might need to see.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess the big one is, when do you get your hands on it? Is the biggest question that we keep hearing.
Yeah.
Gary?
So I've seen a few questions like coming down the chat just saying, when's it coming, and is our data and our books, are they coming over too? And it's absolutely, our default position is that we want to make this should just feel super easy to you guys. We're taking care of everything in terms of upgrading all of the looks of your books into to the new look and feel, but we're definitely like essentially just making that as easy as possible. There shouldn't be any hassle for you. So that's why it's taking us a little bit of time, and we're doing this very carefully. So we've got a few things in mind. We know it's coming up like to the holiday periods. Despite us thinking that this tool we've hopefully built it to be even easier to use than before and as intuitive, and if not more intuitive, we know that we certainly wanted to avoid any sort of overnight switch, ta-da, you're in a new tool. So we appreciate that you've got workflows in place and that you're busy people. The next step is that when we're ready to move your account over, we're probably looking to give you a minimum of 2 weeks notice, just so you get a heads up and it's coming. And we're going to give you an exact date. And so the next time you log into CoverageBook, you may have noticed a banner promoting that 2's coming. You'll see a banner that's going to look very much like this. It's nearly time for your free upgrade. And we'll give you a very specific date, so you know exactly what's going to happen and when. And then post the upgrade, we're certainly going to be there to support you through that too. So we don't envisage there being any issues, but we're certainly going to make ourselves available. So we've got all kinds of options there. So from booking 15 or 30-minute slots with David or anyone else from the team, actually, we're on hand to talk you through that transfer process. And as Stella said, we're going to be putting out a lot more recorded webinars and videos to help you through this. But that's the process. We are coming up to the holidays, so we're mindful of not doing anything too major for people. So I do suspect that the bulk of the upgrades are going to happen in January, just because I just think it's, a little bit concerned about running into the end of the year for people. I've mentioned this in my last email, there are some people that are saying, I absolutely want this now. And if it's the fact that you're effectively migrating all of our data into this new version, the thing for me is I don't want any of those data or books. I'm happy to start completely afresh. If you are happy to start completely afresh with a brand new account and you don't value any of the books or data inside your account, we can move you now. So if anybody is in that position and they don't want to keep any of their existing data or books, then we can move you to the new version now and you can start completely afresh. That's absolutely cool. Otherwise, and I think for the most part, for most people, they do want to keep hold of that data, then just keep an eye out for your upgrade date. And I think we're certainly aiming for by end of January, everybody will be done. It's our internal aim. But we're listening. So if these times don't work for you and you're like, actually, can you line this up for early Feb? Let us know. So just contact us and let us know. I'm happy to help. There is a question about the new old books will transition. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, they are transitioning. Obviously, we've done a lot of testing here, and they look great in general. The books just get an upgrade. I think Steph put it in the copy. It's like going for a posh haircut. So your books will look great. Your data is going to look great and hopefully be in a much more usable state. So it should really feel, when you next log in, that it should feel very familiar, but also you should have, should feel like you've got loads of cool new things to do.
Yeah, and that's your old reports too. They all look good. It's not just from the new ones. We've got about 10 minutes left to answer some questions. And I think while we're on, so do drop them in if you haven't already. But I think there was a few making the point about end of year reports. We do know it is around that time. Somebody asked if it will be in time for end of year reports. I know that everybody does that at a different time. As Gary's just said, it's going to be January. If that's after the time, then maybe you might want to do an update to your client afterwards or to your stakeholders afterwards, and send them a nice one afterwards. Sometimes January is a time to do end of year reports for some people. I know that we used to do our kickoffs there. So just as Gary said, look out for your date.
There's so many questions there. I can see. I'm looking down going, I want to show this. I can see one about Snagit, and that sometimes screenshots, when they get cut off for an automated screenshot, we've got a really nice solution for this now called Focus Point. I don't know what's the idea here is that we're not allowed to dive in, are we? Just because we'll be here.
To show? You can,
David, do you want to show? Do you want to show screen photo? Sorry to put you on the side.
Yeah. No, let's do it.
Once you can take the screen, David, and I'll quickly answer a couple of others whilst you get set up. So there was another question around, can you multi-select many books and then make an end of year report? And yes, you can do that through the vault that we mentioned. So you can have all of your coverage and then select and create a report there. So what's great about that is that you can do it by date, but then you can also check which ones you don't want to have, in there, so you don't have to have all of them. So that was an answer there. Are you ready to go, David, to dive into images?
Yeah.
So should just to repeat the question again, just so everyone is clear.
I think that there's probably a few questions linked to this from screenshots that look bad, but also screenshots where, in the previous version, we always took a full-size screenshot, but then automatically cut it up to a maximum of 9 thumbnails worth of content, which sometimes meant that your mention would have been on the 10th or 11th, which is pretty frustrating, or the cut would have happened in a bit of a awkward place, and then we didn't really give too many options to deal with that. So we've got a new approach to this in terms of picking a focus point from an image. When you log in, you'll see this sort of first image representation of the coverage, but if you want to click into that, David, we are actually taking the full-size screenshot, and then so you can see it here. So you can slide up and down. So it's basically our first approach at allowing you to manually pick where the emphasis should be to the report reader in terms of that first image. I am definitely holding back on all of the things that we've got in mind for this feature moving forward, but I definitely think for now it's a big step forward in quickly picking the right emphasis point for you. The other thing that, again, I was told not to mention, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Sorry,
I was going to say mention
it's Andy screaming at me on chat, probably. Stop. But we will definitely follow up on. We've always had a toolbar that's been a companion product to CoverageBook, so a Chrome toolbar. And there's definitely something big coming, probably in time for your upgrade, that works in a similar way to Snagit. So definitely can't wait to show you that. But it's completely integrated into CoverageBook. So for those few occasions where we haven't captured a good image for you, if you're using our toolbar, then you'll be able to take care of that pretty quickly, and it's fully integrated. I never say this stuff, but I'm pretty confident that is definitely coming. I've seen the prototypes, and it's looking good.
It's very
screaming
cool.
at me. Is he? Yes, he is. Yeah,
he called you Danny, so.
Yeah,
so it's an amazing Chrome plugin. So look out for that one. Just a quick recap from Kim asking if you can include more than one web link per client for the link scanner. Yes, we covered that. You can, so that's great.
Yeah. Just a quick one from Terry as well. Have you removed the quotes? No, it's even better than before. You can do unlimited comments now as well, so you can pull out as much text as you want. That's a nice comment.
Yeah, and you can even have line breaks in your comments, which you couldn't before, which was pretty annoying. What else is there? Are you going through them, Stella? I'm looking through.
Yes, I mean, do just jump into any.
I did see somebody talk about tagging earlier, which is a big one coming up for me. So again, definitely a key product focus area. We're already in the midst of research for this. So if you are interested or are already utilizing some sort of tagging format within your reporting, either in CoverageBook or outside of CoverageBook, because we don't handle it that well for you in the current product, I'd love to talk to you. We're just in the midst of that now. We've got some pretty good ideas of how we would like to handle the option for tagging coverage. So everything from, be it sentiment analysis for anyone that wants to do that. So if they want to manually add sentiment to their coverage, all the way through to more custom tagging based on their own internal system, CEO mention or product mention or roundup, or there's a huge list of things. So definitely keen on this. The basis, we couldn't really do this or even think about it until we had this new platform. So now that we've got the ability to let you multi-select clips and do interesting things, I think we've got some of the basis for you to be able to do that sort of work efficiently. So it's, not in now, but it's definitely in our minds. It's something I'm really keen on.
Yeah. Good question from Corey. If they have social posts in old reports, when it goes into the new version, will those social posts now have social metrics?
Yes.
Great. Let's make that clear. I've lost who asked this, but is it possible to copy coverage from one book to another, copy and paste coverage?
Yeah, definitely. In the Coverage Vault view, it's super easy to find what you're looking for, select just the clips that you need, and then you'll be able to either add those to a brand new book, or you can add those to an existing book as well. So it's super easy to copy and move coverage around.
Cool. Interesting one from Jonathan. Can you delete old metrics? They had some metrics that they used before. They don't need anymore.
We're laughing just because we're embarrassed by this one. There's certainly in the old product, if you ever created a custom metric and added it onto an item, you could never remove that custom metric ever, which you can in the new product. In terms of handling your management of custom metrics moving forward, that's again a big area we're looking at probably in time, just as you guys begin to launch. I totally get how you may have accumulated various metrics over the years, some of which maybe you don't use anymore and you don't want them showing in your drop downs. So again, that's definitely an area that we are aware of and we're looking at. And we'll give you a bit more of a detailed tour around that when it's a good time. We're approaching an hour, so I don't want to get
Just a quick one on metrics. Harry Jones, good question. Are we going to be able to track follow, no follow links? Not right now, no. We aren't doing that. We have got multiple links, but share. If you need it, tell us.
Well, I don't, again, Andy's listening, but the way in which we rebuilt the new backlink functionality to handle the ability to look for more, which was like step one to that. But definitely behind the scenes, we are actually storing whether the link is follow or no follow. I can just say we don't have the appropriate user experience for it yet. So again, it's on the roadmap. We know it's a thing. For some people, personally, I don't think it's a big thing, but I know that some agencies or clients will want that breakdown. So the sort of back-end technology is built. We're looking at it. We're storing the data in that way. But annoyingly for you, we're not making it available to you yet through the interface. But that's mainly down to, we've just
tell us if you need it.
Yeah,
we are we are approaching an hour now, but I think there are quite a few questions around metrics. Somebody asking if we can show a bit more detail about estimated views. I think Gary's already said that he's going to follow up with a blog post very soon on how we get to those formulas, because we know that you need to share that with some of your clients. And we will do, in fact, Hannah is planning a webinar right now with not just us, but actually a couple of faces that you might recognize from the industry, just to go into some of what I was talking around estimated views and how you can use that in sort of the evaluation side of things and ROI. So watch this space for a date for that. When
it should be we're looking at mid-Jan, just because we know that everyone's busy with end of year reporting and that kind of thing, but we will send you guys an email when we've got that date locked in.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, we are an hour, so I'm sorry we didn't get to answer all of your questions, but we are very happy to see so many, and we're going to busy taking them all down right now, and we will find ways to answer them. And as I mentioned, it will definitely lead the way for the follow-up webinars. So thank you so much for how many of you all joined. We had over 250, I think, we've online. And just to reassure you, this has all been recorded, and you will get an email after this with the recording of this webinar and any links that we've mentioned as well. The video that we showed at the beginning you'll get, and there's another 2 as well which go into a little bit more detail. So if you want to share those around the team, anyone that couldn't make the webinar, just hit forward when you get that email. All right, thank you so much. Thanks guys for joining me, David, Hannah and Gary, and hopefully we'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.